Let's roll, baby. Welcome in. It is the Ringer Sunday pregame presented by our friends at FanDuel. Odds subject to change. John Jastremski alongside the rest of the wise guys. We got a loaded card to break down for week number 10. Let's welcome in Cousin Sal from the friendly confines of Los Angeles, California. Joe House still reeling about his Washington C words. Raheem the Dream Palmer in Las Vegas. And, you know, Sal, we have a loaded card to get to. I think we have a bunch of monstrous matchups. But as we kind of take shape on what's going on to kick off this Sunday slate of football, all my Giant fans are in their feelings at the moment because Daniel Jones is starting to turn back into a pumpkin.
They love it. They love it so much. Well, not so fast, Giants fans. This is still the Falcons you're playing against, and it's only a 4-point game. But, JJ, I did what we say all the time. We're not betting the London game. We're not betting the Madrid game. We're not betting the Germany game. We're doing it. I stayed away. And for now, until Raheem convinces me to live bet something here, I am going to stay away completely from this.
So fair enough. I did bet this game. Raheem, I refused for it to be a part of the Ringer 107, like under no set of circumstances. After we had that Jacksonville Ram game back when we were in Los Angeles, California, I was like, listen, after including it in one 107 play, it's persona non grata. We're not doing it again. But the Falcons, one of these weird teams. Jim, you never know what you're getting with them week to week.
Yeah, I mean, you have a solid defense with an incredible pass rush. I mean, they have 4 sacks today, but I think the inconsistency mostly comes from the offense. You just never know what you're going to get. And unfortunately, this has been a team that has really struggled on the road. But, I mean, they're bringing it today in Germany. I don't know what, type of motivation they had, but this is clearly a different team.
And to the surprise of no one, Joe Haas, you have the Colts, in like a variety of teases, money line parlays. How much liability do we have for the Colts money line right now?
Not very much, because as this group has established, the correct thing to do is to just be very cautious with these international games. We've all learned the hard way, some of us. But I will say this. I'm sorry to all the Colts fans in my life, especially Anthony Dabbundo. Just out of curiosity, I'm just a curious kind of guy. I am on the FanDuel Sportsbook looking right now at what the odds are for the Indianapolis Colts to miss the playoffs. It's plus 520. Just if this doesn't go the Colts' way.
I was going to say, Colts have the ball right now at the 10-yard line. So, I mean, this is very subject to change.
Out of curiosity, that's all.
Just a little curiosity. All right, we have a monstrous card to get to. We're going to get to a game right out of the gate that is near and dear to our boss's heart. The New England Patriots, one of the great stories in the NFL, the resurgent Patriots with Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year candidate, Drake May, MVP candidate. The Patriots are catching 2.5 at Tampa with a Buccaneer team coming off their bye. Total for this game is 48.5. And fellas, let's start the proceedings with an absolute bang. I am giving you my wise wager. And I'm sorry, Bill Simmons. I am all over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers laying 2.5 in this spot. This game reminds me a lot of what we saw last week with Indianapolis and Pittsburgh, where it just felt like the Colts were due for a clunker. That's the way I feel about New England. They've been rattling off these wins. Yeah, May's been playing great, but that second half against Atlanta, incredibly shaky. New England's stout run defense, to me, is not going to be a factor in this game because Baker Mayfield is going to look to throw it all over this New England secondary. I saw Drake London have an absolute field day just a week ago. I think Mr. Ibuka is going to be the guy to have an absolute field day. And I think it's a good buy low spot on the Bucs. I think it's a good sell high spot on the Patriots. I think this is a party for the Buccaneers. And Patriot fans, listen, you've had too much to celebrate about for the last few weeks. Now it's time for a kick in the gut.
Few decades. Forget few weeks. They should have 7 years of the Browns, what their fans are going through. That's ridiculous.
Or me, who had 25-plus years without seeing a playoff game, or the Jets. I mean, I could go on and on, Sally. But the bottom line is this. It is not going to be a happy Sunday for Simmons we are taking the Buccaneers laying the 2.5. Sal, can I get you on board?
Yeah, I'm on board, but just, I'm going to dip my toe in the water here. This is one of our Ringer 107 picks, Dabbundo and I. I like Tampa Bay, but I can't pick them real flat out because otherwise the Pats definitely will win if I pick them. And then we'll get a brutally braggy Bill Simmons tonight on Guess the Lines. But how about this? Drake Maybe and Baker Mayfield each record 1+ passing touchdown in each half, plus 350. It's a Ringer special. I said the other day, always have the FanDuel waiter read you the specials. They spend a lot of time memorizing them, so you're doing them a favor. But pass defenses, 18th and 21st, respectively. Penix had 3 last week versus New England. New England's 21st ranked pass defense allowed, 21 in passing allowed per game. Sorry. Baker, multiple touchdown pass games in 6 of his last 7 at home. Maybe he, maybe gets his because he throws a great deep ball. Multi-touchdown pass games in 4 straight, 7 of 8, blah, blah, blah. Need to spread these out over 2 halves, but I like this. Each to have a passing touchdown in each half, plus 350 and go Bucks.
It seems like a game that's tailor-made for an SGP. So, Raheem, you had to get on board with an SGP.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing an SGP. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers Pats over 48.5 as my first leg. I think this has shootout written all over it. I think Sal is on the money by predicting both of these quarterbacks to throw a touchdown. And I'm going to predict both of these quarterbacks to go over their passing yard. I'm going to go Drake May over 241.5 passing yards. And I'm going to go Baker Mayfield over 244.5 passing yards as well. I mean, you look at the Patriots. They put up at least 23 points. And they've topped out at 42. Over the last 6 weeks, they've averaged 29.5 points. So they can light it up. The Bucs have gone 3 and over to the over at home. And you look at this Patriots defense, they've really struggled to stop the pass. I mean, they're allowing opponents to complete 69.1% of their passes for 7.1 yards per attempt. So I'm looking at both of these passes. They should be able to get off. I think you get a lot of points. I don't want to bother to predict the winner because I think it's going to come down to the final possession, but that's my SGP. It pays almost 3-1 or so.
Now, House, my question to you. I saw on the Ringer 107, Team Simmons House went with the Buccaneers. Now, was this a Joe House decision? Did you get the endorsement of Mr. Simmons? Explain to me the logic, because I did not get an opportunity to listen to how you guys detailed it on the pod. Was this a House call, a Bill call? I'm dying to know.
Well, it was definitely going to be a house call, but I will give the Podfather credit. He arrived to the program with a rational, sensible frame of mind. He understood the spot that the Patriots are finding themselves in with the Bucs coming off of the bye, and especially this defense for Tampa that can confuse a young quarterback. The first time Todd Bowles gets his hands on young quarterbacks tends to be something where he throws some exotic blitzes at them. And so Simmons was on board with the idea of us taking Tampa. He recognized the spot. 2.5 is a good number. So it was a mutual decision, but he definitely pushed it on me. He said, this is your pick. You have to pick it. I won't do anything but silently endorse it. So that's how it went down. Now I'm don't want to miss this party here. Everybody's getting in on the action of this. So I'm going ahead and taking a swing with an oh my God bet. We're going to go ahead and lay 9.5 points. The Buccaneers are at home. And the thesis really is the ability of this defense. Drake May's got to stop taking sacks. He said so this week at his press conference. He's taken too many sacks. The Patriots pass defense has quietly been a pass funnel kind of a defense. And if you want to see Baker come off, now Baker himself has said this week off did me a world of good. I am coming in feeling fresh. I'm springy. I like Tampa Bay at home, potentially winning by margin. This is a step up in class. All I do is tip my cap to the Patriots, a 6-game winning streak, but they've been beating bums. That's what a good team's supposed to do, beat bums. Tampa, not bums. Very good team. Win by margin this week.
I'm a big fan of that play. I'm going to add that to the FanDuel portfolio. A little alt spread with the Bucs, 9.5, double digits. Like it. All right, we're moving on. 1 o'clock, fascinating game. Baltimore extra time to prepare, smoked the Dolphins on Thursday night. Lamar Jackson throwing 4 touchdowns, all is right in the world. The Ravens are laying 4.5 in Minnesota against the Minnesota team feeling good about themselves. They won at Detroit last week. They silenced a lot of the doubters with the J.J. McCarthy train. Total in this game is at 48.5. And to me, it is a huge swing game in the pendulum for both of these teams. Minnesota wins. They're rolling. All of a sudden, they're dreaming big about what can happen in the NFC. And Baltimore wins. They're starting to chase down the Pittsburgh Steelers, trying to make a move in the AFC North. Now, Raheem, I'm going to let you have the T-box here. This happens to be your wise wager. How are we playing Baltimore and Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens -4.5. You know, Jay-Z said the only Christopher we acknowledge is Wallace. Well, the only JJ we acknowledge is the one hosting this show, because he has to take on Lamar Jackson, who was 24-3 straight up against NFC teams. And you look at the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson in the lineup, they're averaging 33.5 points per game. So 14 without him. So this offense is completely different. And we know Flores likes to throw that blitz out there. Well, that's not going to work against Lamar Jackson. You're talking about a guy who leads the league in success rate against the blitz, 58.9%, leads the league in passer rating against the blitz, 136. And since 2024, no quarterback has generated more EPA per dropback than Lamar Jackson against the blitz. So he should be able to dominate this Vikings team. You also look at the Vikings. They struggle to stop the run. They've allowed at least 80 yards to 5 rushers this season. So Derrick Henry should have a monster day. And then when you look at the other side of the ball, J.J. McCarthy is only completing 57% of his passes, and this Ravens defense is really starting to put it together. Last 3 games against the Rams, Bears, and Dolphins, 13 points per game. So I like the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're going to take the Minnesota Vikings. They're going to put them in a vacant. You can go get Chris, you can get Snoop, you can get Marlowe, and it's going down. Baltimore Ravens -4.5.
Now, Sal, your play on Ravens and Vikings, I think, is incredibly biased, considering who you're going to be talking to a little bit later on in the show.
Yeah.
Is this how it is now? You have a guest on the show, you just got to suck up and play them every which way?
Well, Raheem, if he could drop Chris and Snoop and Marlowe's name, I certainly could drop King Henry's name. I mean, I looked at the side 4.5. It's like, you know, Baltimore at their best is the better team here, and they do have some ground to make up with Lamar being out, so they'll probably win. But that's a Vegas zone situation, we call that, 4.5 or 5.5. So you're right, JJ, going with a player prop. King Henry, I interviewed him the other day to have 100+ rushing yards. Now, are we best friends now? Maybe. I don't want to make too much of it. We talked about him maybe doing a duet with Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl, and what happens the next time a defender exposes his ass while tackling him. You know, things best friends talk about. But he's hitting 100 today, 100+ on the ground in 2 of the last 3. The Vikes, middle of the pack in total defense, and 20th against the run. Kamani Vidal, Quentin Judkins, both at 100-yard efforts versus the Purple People leaders in recent weeks. Gainwell, I think, had 99. King Henry goes for triple digits. Maybe I'll be invited to the postgame party. Wouldn't be surprised. We're that close now. Plus 194 for Henry, 100+ yards on the ground.
I was always invited to the party. I mean, who are we kidding? Me, on the other hand, I got to kind of weasel my way in. I got to kind of sneak my way in. House, he's a given. Sal, he knows what he's doing. Speaking of the party, Joe House, why a first-half party for you and not a full game on Baltimore?
Well, first, I'm still recovering from all this exposed ass talk from the cousin Sal,
Yes.
but fortunately, we are going directly to a system play. The reason that we are playing the first half here is because the system is Lamar Jackson against the NFC. Lamar Jackson with a fully healthy Ravens offense. And look, nobody's been better in the NFL in the first half than the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson as their quarterback over the entire period of time. And we can slice it down up a little bit, slice it up, slice it down, slice it however you want to slice it in terms of the Ravens as a favorite away from home, 28-10-1 against the spread with extra time to prepare, 22-14-1 against the first half spread. 10-3 against the spread as a road favorite. They just handle their business. So we're talking in the 75% range in terms of outcomes when the Ravens go up against an NFC team, when they're favored by field goal or more in the football game. And the Vikings on the other side, 2-6 against the spread. This is just go ahead and invest in the Ravens. It's a beautiful price, -2.5 at -120 on the FanDuel Sportsbook. I came this close to making it my wise wager. This thing's gonna click through.
You know, the boys are throwing out so many juicy bets. I thought I had a loaded and stacked portfolio for this card. I'm just adding and adding and adding some more. I love when we're all on board.
You never have enough. Yeah.
Never, Sal. Let's go to Los Angeles and San Francisco. Divisional battle. And the Niners, earlier this year on a Thursday night, won outright. Rams looking for revenge. Rams clearly the more healthy team going into this matchup, and the line has completely skyrocketed. You know, this line opened at 3.5. Now you're seeing 5.5, a total of 49.5. Sal, this game kind of suited your fancy for an SGP, which I found a little surprising because I think there are some better SGP candidates, but hey, a winner is a winner. How we laying this one out?
Oh, well, I'll take advice from you. I've only won 2 SGPs in a row. But go ahead, tell me more about what you think should be an SGP game.
That's a low blow right there.
No. Listen, I looked at, you're right. There are a bit more totals that are bigger than this that would fit all the positive props and everything. And this was an entertaining game, like you said, JJ, a few weeks ago. Lots of points spilled into the game, in the second half especially. I like an SGP. I like the Rams to get revenge. They come alive in the second half. Stafford, 12 touchdowns, no interceptions, 70% completion in the second half. That's what he does. We can pretend that Puka Nacua doesn't add a point to the spread, but really he does when you think about it. When he plays, they are a very different team. So I like him to have 7 or more grabs. He's done this in 7 of his last 8. He had 10 receptions versus San Francisco earlier this year. I like him to score 2. That's happened in 3 of the last 4. And let's add CMC to hit pay dirt. 8 on the year and scored in 5 of the last 7. Still a blue chipper out there. So it's Rams to win. Nacua 7+ receptions. Nacua touchdown. CMC a touchdown. And that gets you plus 387 on the SGP.
So I really like this SGP,
ahead,
and I actually disagree with JJ that this is not the game to SGP. I think this is the perfect game. And
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, you look at the total of this game. The total of this game is 49.5. You look at the San Francisco 49ers. They are bombed out and depleted defensively. We know about Nick Bosa. We know about what's my guy's name?
Fred Warner.
We know about Fred Warner. Bryce Huff is banged up, but then you lose Michael Williams. So I think the Los Angeles Rams, they can name their score today. And, you guys know on the Monday show, we gave out Rams -3.5. It's now up to 5.5. Now, me personally, I'm looking at that Rams team total at 27.5. I think that goes over. I really think they can name their score. And if you want to get frisky, you could also do Rams team total over 34.5 plus 310. Now, the only reason why I didn't recommend this for my oh my God bet is because Sean McVay has the tendency to, when they get into a lead, they like to slow things down and run the ball. But I think ultimately, you look at what the Houston Texans did to this same 49ers defense. I mean, Houston Texans, they can't score. So if the Rams, they want to go out there and they want to score 40 points, it's available for them today. So I think this is the perfect SGP. And I think, Sal's going to hit that. So I might tell that myself.
See, I'm just a little bit worried about it from a 49er perspective because I do not like this matchup at all for San Francisco. And normally Kyle Shanahan has had his way with Sean McVay. Last year, that was not the case. The Rams won both of the matchups. And if you're just going to compare the health of these two teams, the Rams getting Nacua back, the Niners a mash unit on defense. I feel very, very comfortable with the idea that I have already laid 3.5, and I tell Raheem when we gave that out on East Coast Bias.
Yeah, Simmons and I talked ourselves into the 49ers in this spot. Now, I myself, for the purposes of this show, decided to kind of stay away. But the reason that we got there is because, it doesn't really matter who the guys are in the jerseys in this matchup. It just ends up being these close games every time, something unexpected, like Kieran Williams dropping the football as he goes into the end zone to clinch the game for the Rams in week 5. Anything greater than a field goal feels like an opportunity. The X's and O's suggest everything that you guys are laying out in terms of a smash spot for the Rams. The only thing that counsels against it is what Dream just mentioned, which is the inclination of McVay to get overly conservative with the lead and leaves the back door open for a field goal cover by the Niners at the end of the game.
Boys, let's head to Sunday Night Football. Los Angeles, Al, your neck of the woods. The Los Angeles Chargers laying 2.5 against Mr. Rogers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And despite the fact that this game is going to be played in Southern California, I would argue the crowd will be minimum 70% Pittsburgh Steelers fans. The terrible towels will be out every which way imaginable. And the Chargers go into this matchup in a whole lot of trouble. Specifically on that offensive line, Joe Alt, who returned from injury, is out again. He is done for the year. Joe House, you are the king of the dog at the moment. I stole that title from you last year. You have the lead for man's best bet. It's only right that you get to go first on this game because it may happen to be your man's best bet for Week 10.
It is indeed my man's best bet. You set it up perfectly there, JJ. I appreciate it. I regret not playing the Steelers last week at home against the Colts. That was the all-time. We've been watching that game for 20 years. Mike Tomlin at home as a big dog to a team, an upstart team like the Colts who hadn't really proven anything. But very quietly, after a game like that, the Steelers and Tomlin, when they come into a situation where they're dogs once again, and this was a field goal or more nearly all week. Now, they dropped down in the price to 2.5, but you got to lay a ton of juice if you want that 2.5 in favor of the Chargers. The Chargers don't have a home field advantage. Anytime the Chargers are a field goal or better, in terms of the spread, their record at home, 17-25-1 against the spread. But what I really like is the Steelers' side of this and their ability to get pressure. They reminded us once again of the dogs they have on that defensive line. We saw our guy, Danny Dimes, under duress. Indiana Jones, that man was running for his life all day long last week. I think we're going to see the same thing with Herbert. I mean, one of the ways to play this game for sure is Herbert rush yards. I'm not sure what the number sits at right now, but he's going to be running because the Steelers are coming. I also really admire the way the Steelers change up their secondary scheme a little bit, put some two-man in, showed some looks that they hadn't shown over the course of the season. It's just a tough spot for this Chargers team with the injuries on the offensive line. We don't know who the tackles are going to be. Nobody's ever heard of them. It's a really tough situation for them. Anytime they don't have Joe Alt, they're not a winning football team. That's been the case over his entire career. So we like the Steelers going in and getting the job done here.
House, you stole my man's best bet, and I'm right there with you. I ended up going with your crummy team over the Steelers last week for man's best bet. Big time mistake. Now, this will not be my man's best bet, but I am betting the Steelers at +2.5. It is a Ringer 107 play. I don't even think you got to mess around with the 2.5 because Rodgers will have success against that overrated Chargers defense. And then you mentioned the Steeler defensive line getting after Jones. They're going to get after Justin Herbert. They're going to have some crowd support as well. Steelers the right side in the game. Raheem, can we make this a family play? Are you in on the Steelers as well?
This is definitely a family play. This is my man's best bet, and I also have an extra bet on top of that as well. I think this is all about the Chargers offensive line. You got to take the Steelers money line here. You look at the Chargers. They're 4-0 this season when Joe Alt plays, 2-3 when he doesn't. Herbert, QBR of 80 with Alt on the field, QBR of 56 without him. LA's pass rush win rate goes from 56%, 30th in the NFL when Alt isn't playing. So, I mean, they're really, really struggling. And then also last week against the Titans, right tackle Bobby Hart, he left the game. So the Titans sacked the Chargers 6 times last week. So I imagine the Steelers are going to be able to get after Justin Herbert. And I think the Steelers have a chance to win this game outright. Now, I know they traded for Penning from the Saints, but he's not even starting the game. So they had him go through a couple practices and said, look, we're not even going to start you. I also like the under on this game. Under 44.5. I gave this out on Monday. I think it was 46, 45 or so. It's got bet down a little bit. We know 44 is a key number, as is 45, but I don't see a lot of points in this game. I think the Chargers, they have a solid defense, so I think they should be able to slow down the Steelers as well. So I think, 23-20 actually wins this. So I think you go under 44.5.
Sal, the boys are aligned.
Wow.
We're all riding Pittsburgh in this spot, but you see a pathway to Mr. Herbert and the Chargers having success scoring some points there, I say.
Well, I understand Raheem is still butthurt. He took the Chargers last week, and they couldn't get it done against the Titans. That
was cruel.
That does sting.
That was cruel. We had a couple
stings.
of bad ones, Sal, and you got the right side of it with Chicago and Cincinnati. Must be nice.
Right. Well, right side, for God's sakes, it had a 99% chance with 4 minutes left.
You
They're
got
up by 3
and you won
scores.
again.
All right,
you got to ride the roller coaster.
Hey, let's move forward, right? And you guys, this is a true head-to-head because you guys are chasing me. It's pathetic. You're chasing me for the Wise Wager title again. But you all have the underdog as a man's best bet. And I'm going Chargers more or less to win this game, but I'm taking them over 23.5 points. And I have a long way to go to rebut all the things you said about the Chargers offense. Like you said, played a few minutes down the road. I get it. The Steelers have 130% of the fans and the Chargers have minus 30%. But guess what? It's like a home game that they have to travel for, and they haven't been that great at home. So I'm going over 23.5. I'm definitely in the minority. I'm not sure the Steelers defense is all the way back. And if it is, I'm not sure it travels with the 90,000 fans expected to make the pilgrimage. So hold off on the steel curtain talk just now. By the way, last week, Pittsburgh forced 6 turnovers and still only won by 7. The Colts still put 20 points up. The 2 prior weeks, they allowed 68 points total. So I trust Herbert to get this offense moving early. He's 10-3 in night games. The Chargers have put up 24+ in 4 straight weeks. So they have some O-line help at the trade deadline. No, you mentioned that, Raheem. He's not ready, kid from the Saints. But I think they're going to get it together. Top 5 offense in yards per game. My model has the Chargers scoring 31 points. How's 31-21 sound for a final and a 4th straight Wise Wager win for you guys?
Sal's got a model. Sal's got it all. Yes,
I don't like it when we're head-to-head with the Cuz, but, since 2020, I was sitting on this one. Guess how many times the Steelers have played a Greg Roman offense? Greg Roman previously.
Quite a bit. Baltimore.
Baltimore.
That's right. 7 times. Steelers 6-1 outright. They were underdogs in 4 of those 7 games. Roman's offenses. Here are the points for the Greg Roman offenses. 10 points, 13 points, 13 points, 14 points, 16 points, 19 points. Now, they did get to 24 one time, Cousin Sal. One time for you. But that average, I'm not very good at math. That average is under 16 points per game. I like the Steelers side here.
Listen, 27-26 Steelers, we're all happy. Let's just do that.
Not Raheem with that under.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. That was actually going to be my Wise Wager. I didn't change my Wise Wager like 4 times last night at 3 a.m.
But I need conviction out of Raheem. I need a whole lot of conviction. All right, speaking of conviction, let's move on to Monday Night Football. Can't wait for this matchup. The Eagles getting 1.5 at Green Bay, who's still trying to figure out what in the world happened losing outright to the Carolina Panthers. I keep talking about this Packer team. All the nerds love them. All the metrics love them. The eye test is concerning. If you're dreaming about the possibility of the Green Bay Packers hoisting this year's Lombardi Trophy, need a little bit more consistency out of their head coach, need a little bit more consistency out of their quarterback who makes about 4 or 5 dopey plays every single week. Joe House, smelling a Wise Wager. What's the play for the Eagles and the Packers?
Yeah, there's a reason that this line opened at 2.5 and now sits at 1.5. And we are officially inside of the number that should be the home field advantage for the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. That's a 2 to 2.5 point home field advantage over history. We're inside of that with this Eagles team because everybody took a look at what this Eagles team coming off of a bye and the acquisitions that this Eagles team made to fortify its defense, its trenches over the course of the week. And here we are now with the Eagles still as an underdog, but not a very big underdog at Lambeau Field. The Eagles coming off of a bye, that there's great numbers for that. 6-1 straight up since 2021. They score more than their team total. They come off of the bye rested 5 out of 7 games. They score more than their team total, and they're holding their opponent to under their team total in 5 of 7 games. This is a situation where, to me, complete change in class. This, it looks like it could be a preview of the NFC Championship game. The team that's got to get there is the Green Bay Packers, because you look at the resume now, the wins that we were so impressed by at the beginning of the season, not so impressive. Congratulations on Detroit in week 1. They beat the pants off of Washington. That doesn't really do anything for me. And they took advantage of the Pittsburgh Steelers in the second half because the Steelers were playing a predictable defense. The Steelers have changed things. But look, the Eagles with a rest advantage come in here with fortified defensive line in the form of Nolan Smith, in the form of Brandon Graham, and new acquisition Jalen Phillips. There are 5 wide receivers in the Green Bay Packers injury room right now. I know that Christian Watson's still on a snap count. Romeo Doubs is healthy. No Tucker Kraft. That is the first down man, the way that they like to get an offense moving, and he is not there. I think it's going to be the Eagles.
So it's interesting, House. The Packers, clearly not in my circle of trust at the moment. However, they're a team style that kind of plays up and down to their competition.
Yeah.
They're obviously playing up in competition against the reigning Super Bowl champs. My feeling on this game, I'm mano-a-mano with my guy, Joe House. I think we're going to get the very best out of the Green Bay Packers here. I think the Green Bay Packers on that defensive line can get after Jalen Hurts. Am I crazy to like Green Bay in this spot?
I don't think so. I mean, I thought before you just said that, I thought I was the only better talking head on TV or YouTube or Netflix, whatever the hell this is right now, that was going with Green Bay. And it's fascinating, JJ, because you have 3 very good quarterbacks on very good teams at home, laying 1.5, 2.5. You have Jordan Love, you have Justin Herbert, and you have Baker Mayfield. And I'm going to do what House essentially did with Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. I'm taking an adjusted Packer line here at 9.5, right? So, look, I don't know what we're doing right now and who's on the Packers this week, but I get that they were awful last Sunday. 5 trips to the red zone, 4 were empty. They missed field goals and everything else. The opposing quarterback had 100 yards passing and still won the game. But before that, they were averaging 33 points a game the month previous, going against the number 23 defense now. 23, that's hard to believe with Philadelphia, right? They're usually top 5. 23 number in the league, boasting a top 5 defense themselves. So I consider this, by the way, from the Action Network. Jordan Love has excelled in night games. He's 8-5-1 against the spread in his 14 starts, covering the spread by 5 points per game at home in Lambeau Field. He's 4-1 straight up, covering by 7.5 points a game. I'm thinking even more, 9.5. Going to be some cold weather rolling through, temps in the 20s by halftime. I think this game could get out of hand. Hurts pressured all night by the fierce Packers front. And by the way, I didn't realize this. I have a Micah Parsons little tchotchke on my desk in a Cowboys uniform. $14 out the window right there. 31-17. I'm laying 9.5 and getting a nice return, plus 340. Expensive imported cheese for me.
You should put a cheese head on that Micah Parsons tchotchke.
It's broken now. I just chucked it against the wall.
Raheem, considering how skeptical I have been on Green Bay over the last month, are you surprised that I'm backing the Packers here?
I'm not. I think this is a typical buy low spot. I mean, you look at the Eagles, they're 3-1 on the road this season, but they've won the turnover battle against the Vikings, the Buccaneers, and the Chiefs in all 3 of those wins. And then they haven't faced a defense on the road that ranks in the top 10 in opponent yards per play. So the Packers are second behind the Broncos. So this is a good buy low spot. I think we need to talk a little bit about how the Packers are going to perform without Tucker Kraft. I think obviously Luke Musgrave is going to be, he's going to be the beneficiary of that injury. You can look at Luke Musgrave. He's plus 310 to score anytime touchdown. You look at his yardage props, 29.5. That may be a little bit low. I just really want to see what this Packers team is going to do offensively, because to me, they've really struggled to put the whole thing together. So the way I'm actually going to play this is I'm going to play an Eagles teaser. This kind of goes against what Sal's saying, and I hate going against Sal because Sal is like running like God right now. But I'm gonna take the Eagles plus 7.5 on a teaser, and then I hate doing this because I don't like teasing road teams, but I'm gonna tease them with the Detroit Lions. Like to me, I think the Packers are in improvement mode. Like I really think there's something off about this team, particularly on the offense. So I said this on Thursday's show. People are going to kill me for it, but because I think that division is wide open with the Bears and the Lions, I'm taking the Packers plus 350 to miss the postseason, because if they lose tomorrow's game, that's going to get cut in half, and they still got divisional games against the Lions, the Bears, and the Vikings, and I think all 4 of those teams are fighting for the right to win that division, and I don't know how many teams are going to get in from that division because the NFC West looks very strong.
It's a major, major fight, no doubt about it. I can't wait to break down Arizona and Seattle. Fascinating game. A lot of different fronts, a lot of different levels. Mr. Seattle, great guy, good hang. Danny Kelly from the Ringer Fantasy Football Show has a guest pick for us. By the way, he looks great in that little graphic we have at the bottom of our screen. Danny Kelly, what do you got?
What's up, Ringer Gambling crew? Danny Kelly here. I have a bet for you guys from the Seahawks-Cardinals game this weekend. I'm going out on a limb here, and I'm saying Rashid Shaheed on the over for receiving yards. Right now, as I record, it's 38.5 yards, and I know that it's a little risky because it is his first game with the team, but Torrey Horton is doubtful. Jake Bobo's out. Cooper Kupp has been banged up for the past couple of weeks. And more importantly, Rashid Shaheed, he knows Kubiak's offense. I think he can hit the ground running. He played for him last year with the Saints. Mike McDonald came in the presser and said that basically, Shaheed doesn't need to learn the whole offense. He just needs to learn the game plan for this week. It sounds like they're going to utilize him both on offense and special teams this week. And most importantly, Sam Darnold is the best deep ball passer in the NFL right now. He has more deep yards and a higher explosive throw rate in terms of catchable throw rate than any other player in the NFL right now. So the way that the Seahawks offense is playing, the way that Shaheed fits in perfectly with that, I just like it. And Rashid, I mean, honestly, to get that total, he just has to hit one, maybe 2 big plays, and he's on the over. So I'm going with Rashid Shaheed. I know it's risky, but I like it. Rashid Shaheed on the over for receiving yards.
Absolute wagon. I don't know, Raheem. Where's Raheem? Raheem left us. He left.
He hates Danny Kelly. That's a little-known Ringer inside secret. But
He walked off. Listen, before we get Raheem's pick, there we go. The seed of a ghost. Now you see him. Now you don't. Now you see him again. Look at that, Raheem. What Raheem? You vanished on us, pal.
Yeah.
Hold on. We'll get Raheem settled. Sal, Arizona, Seattle. Brissett looked great, but it was against your crummy Cowboys.
What?
Stunning. I mean, Dolphins, Cowboys, defense optional with those two teams to ever play. Thank God they don't. How are you playing Arizona, Seattle?
I like a tease. I always have to have a teaser, right? So Seattle -0.5 and under 50.5. Basically, Seattle to win and adjusting it under 50. So Jacoby Brissett's been a demon, and especially on the road, taking snaps for Arizona. We saw him control the game against my Cowboys, like you said, last Monday. And, you know, they went to Indy, almost stole that one a few weeks ago. They played the Packers. That was in Green Bay, nip and tuck. Actually, that was in the desert, but that was close. But now against Mike McDonald's second best rush defense and 5th best overall defense. I know a lot of this is away from Seattle, which is laughable considering their success at home over the years. But Sam Darnold will make a few big plays. JSN's going to get back in the mix full time like he has been like a month ago. He's due for a big game. Seahawks crushed Arizona over the last few years, going 8-0 straight up. They're playing like one of the better teams in the league, and I just don't want to deal with Jacoby Brissett nonsense, backdoor cover or whatever. So I'm teasing Seattle and the under. Should be 26-17, 24-20 type game.
We just had a Jonathan Taylor 85-yard touchdown run. Joe House, you are back. You are alive, and this is going to be a rather significant 2-point conversion, if you know where I'm coming from, considering what the number on this game may be. But forget about that for a second. Raheem, would you endorse Sal in taking the Seahawks here, who have been as good as anybody over the last month?
Yeah, I like the Seahawks in this game. And I think the biggest reason why is that they've dominated this Cardinals team. For some reason, the NFL is like really weird. They have these like really weird trends where certain teams just dominate the other one. I mean, you saw it last week with the Arizona Cardinals. They always beat Dallas. Well, the Seahawks have owned the Cardinals. I mean, they've won 8 consecutive games, and they're 7-1 against the spread in those games. I mean, you look at the margin of those victories. You're talking about 12, 10, 1, 10, 10, 10, and 8. So they just dominate this team. And then I think right now the Seahawks, I mean, this defense is not the Cowboys defense that we saw last week. It's not the Colts defense that Jacoby Brissett passed on. So I look at this defense that Seattle has, and in the offense, I just think they should be able to win this game rather easily. I mean, you saw the original Thursday night football game they played. I know it ended on a 3-point victory, but that game was not close at all. So I think Seattle puts the smack down here, and I think you see their Super Bowl odds continue to plummet.
Boys, you like the Seahawks. I understand why. Now, Joe House is the leader for Man's Best Bet. It's time to go and take ourselves with a big swing. I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals outright against Seattle here in this spot. To me, the spot is everything for Zona. They're getting themselves back in the playoff race. And I know you mentioned a lot of those numbers, Raheem. Arizona, Seattle. Well, Kyler Murray is no longer the quarterback. Jacoby Brissett is in. This offense has moved the ball much better with Jacoby Brissett as the quarterback. And sooner or later here, Seattle is going to burn the betters, right? We're in situations where they are covering. They are winning every single week. I'm getting a desperate division dog. I need a monstrous swing for a money line bet. I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals to go into Seattle and win this game outright against the Seattle Seahawks. I like the Steelers, but it's just not enough juice for me. At plus 265, I'm getting a lot more juice here. Give me the Arizona Cardinals. I'm coming for you, Joe House. I need a monstrous dog.
I don't mind you coming after me this way. My big problem, I really like this Cardinals defense and what they showed us against Dallas last week, but they have injuries in the secondary that kind of scared me off. The number's too high. I think it's all the way up to Seattle by 7. Seattle just, for whatever reason, under Mike McDonald, doesn't cover at home. I like Cousin Sal's tease quite a bit. You know, I don't think that we're going to get to 50 points, and I really like the idea of just Seattle winning this football game. But, JJ, I think you have a good case to make because that offense of the Cardinals has established a level of confidence. It doesn't really matter who the running back is. I think we're on the 4th or 5th string running back now. It doesn't matter. The offensive line has been very good, and I do think there is a difference between Kyler at quarterback for the Cardinals and Brissett in this matchup. I mean, obviously, there's been a difference because the Cardinals have really saved their season over the last handful of games.
Boys, let's move on. Giants going into Chicago to take on the Bears. Bears been red hot, finding ways to win. The Giants doing the opposite, finding ways to lose. They're 2-7 on the year. This line opened at 5.5. It's now down to 4.5. Sal, if there's been one constant with the Giants, it's Jackson Dart. He's played well. He's scoring touchdowns. Is that the way you would handicap this game? Let's play a player prop.
I know that's the way you're about to handicap it. We're going to hear more about Jackson Dart from you in a bit. But, yeah, I'm hoping for a rainy, snowy, slushy game in Chicago and Midway. Let's do it. I am going Dart 2+ touchdowns as my OMG at plus 1,400. But is it an OMG or is it just an OM? It's a theological question that's almost impossible to answer. I think it's an oh my. Somewhat surprising, but not miraculously, that he has a streak of 4 straight games and 5 out of 6 with a touchdown run. Life post-Scatterboo creates more opportunities for Dart down by the goal line, but he's favored to get 1. Why not 2 for the Ole Miss alum? Let's do it. Plus 1,400, JJ.
Okay, so we had one OMG bet. Rumor has it we have another OMG bet. Isn't that right, one of our panelists?
Yes, we're going to go with DeAndre Swift, 80+ rushing yards. You look at the Giants' run defense. They're 31st in the league. They're relying 150 yards per game. Like, they cannot stop the run at all. I mean, you go to DVOA and EPA per play, they're dead last in those categories as well. So I think the biggest thing with this game is that we know that there's some weather issues. It could be rainy, it could be snowy, it could be windy. So that means you put the ball on the ground, and DeAndre Swift should be able to get 80+ rushing yards. I mean, if you want to get frisky, you could probably go to 100 and get that, like, you know, plus 400 or so, plus 500 or so. But I'm going to go 80+ rushing yards.
House, SGP, treacherous, sloppy conditions. Is this yet another one of these house under SGP specials, or are we playing this differently?
I mean, definitely under. This is one of my favorite ways to play these things when I see weather. We're not going to overemphasize the weather aspect of this because there's been weather forecasts this entire season. None of them bear out. Oh, it's going to be this 50 mile an hour in Cleveland. Get out of here, man. We haven't seen any of it. Maybe this will be the week where it'll actually matter, but it won't in terms of the game script that the Chicago Bears should be pursuing against this Giants team. And Dream just hit the nail on the head. It's a rush attack for the Bears, which means the Bears, Caleb Williams, under. It's all the way down to 212.5 yards. It was 230 at the beginning of the week. It was 220 last night. Now it's down to under 215, but it's still an underplay because there's no reason for the Bears to be putting Caleb Williams back there in harm's way against the Giants. Pretty good pass rush, and when they have a two-headed monster at running back, I mean, they can do DeAndre Swift. The Bears can. They can do this guy Monangai. I think I said it right. I have no idea, but
I give you an A for effort. That's okay.
That means that Caleb Williams doesn't need to throw the football. I have him under 200 yards. I have the Bears winning this game at home outright. I have under 50.5 total points. If the weather is anything at all, these two teams won't combine for much. And then it's Caleb going ahead and scrambling. It is the one thing he likes to do. When they drop back to pass, he will see the pass rush. He'll take off running. We need him to just get to 18 yards. That thing pays off a close to 5-1, a little above 5-1. It was all the way up until this morning.
So we have a YouTube poll. If you want to get on board and participate, please feel free to do so on our YouTube channel. Best bet for Steelers and Chargers. Pitt money line. Chargers over 23.5. Total points under 44.5. By the way, I'm endorsing that Pitt money line. So that's the one I am all over. Let's go to a game in the AFC South. We have a line flip. Because for most of the week, gentlemen, the Jacksonville Jaguars were a small favorite at the Houston Texans. Now, if you look on the FanDuel Sportsbook page, the Houston Texans are a small favorite at home. It's going to be Davis Mills at quarterback. Got burned by Davis Mills last week in his game against the Denver Broncos. This is a disgusting total, 37.5. Speaking of disgusting, Sal, is this your right line of the week?
Oh, okay. I'm glad you followed it up with that. Not just speaking of disgusting Sal. All right, but listen, this is a tic-tac game, right? I wish we could bet that the team that's favored by 1.5 will eventually be an underdog by 1.5. If we could bet on that, it would happen almost every week, right? It has all the makings of a rat line right there in the tic-tac zone. AFC South matchup, which is almost never pleasant to watch to begin with. The Jags struggled with the Raiders before putting them away in overtime, and now still favored on the road, and yet the opponent is Davis Mills, who is as reliable as a hotel thermostat as far as I'm concerned. Just handed that game to Denver last week. Here, take it. This is a stay away. This is a rat. Good luck figuring out where the screw job in this game rears its ugly rat head, because it's going to happen.
That said, Sal, I like the Texans. Raheem, I can't believe I'm going back to the well. I think the line with Houston basically being in this 1.5 range tells you everything you need to know with a backup quarterback. Their defense, to me, is the difference. They win the game. I know you're on board with the Texans.
Yeah, I actually like betting on backup quarterbacks.
Because you're a strange, sick man, and I love you for that, Raheem. That's why I love you. That's why I love you.
I mean, and the market has followed suit. I mean, obviously they went from +1.5 to -1.5, but I think you have a Super Bowl caliber defense over there in Houston. Second in EPA per play, second in success rate. And then when you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, they've been fraudulent all season long. When they had that 4-1 start, 4-2 start, it came on the backs of turnovers. They had like 15 turnovers in those games. And when they stopped forcing turnovers, they've really struggled. And you saw it last week against the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders had a 3-point lead with a chance to close that game. And now you lose a lot of your receivers. Obviously, Brian Thomas is out. You have to trade from Jacoby Myers. They just don't have a lot of weapons to throw the ball to. And in that first Houston Texans game, the Texans had the ball at the Jaguars' 10 10-yard line and were about to score and win the game before they fumbled. So I think Davis Mills should play a lot better than he did last week. We know the Broncos defense is one of the best in the league, but more importantly, it's different being thrust into a game without preparation versus having a whole week to practice for an inferior defense. So I think Davis Mills is actually going to have a monster game. And I actually think the Texans probably win this by a margin. You know, I mean, like, I think this might have been my original oh my God bet, selling points on the Texans. I think they might win this.
What's the matter with you people?
Yeah, I know I'm crazy, but
no, I like the sound of it. Jacksonville had no business winning last week against the Raiders. Jacksonville has been incredibly fraudulent, especially from an offensive standpoint. Right there with you. You know who's not fraudulent, Sal? Derrick Henry. How did Derrick Henry and cousin Sal link up? That's what I'm dying to know.
It's an old. Well, we're actually cousins. We're actually distant cousins. No. We have a wonderful booker who got it together, Allison Turner. Shout out to you. But yeah, I interviewed Derrick Henry, and I sat and asked him the question that's on everyone's mind, which is, what if Bad Bunny calls you out to do a duet during halftime of the Super Bowl? What song you doing? And here's what.
I have to get your thoughts on the tush push. It seems like it could go away when they vote again this winter. As someone who doesn't need any help gaining momentum going forward, are you a fan of this rule?
I hope they don't ban it. You can't stop it. Why you want to get it banned? Find a way to stop it. It's effective for Philly. I know we tried it. We had success and we didn't have success. So it's all a part of, having the will to stop it. But I know some teams don't like it because it's so effective, but I hope they don't ban it.
Yeah. Speaking of tushes, yours was exposed Sunday night game versus the Bengals last year. What was going on when you got tackled by the Pants? Were you angry or were you laughing right away? What were your initial thoughts?
I was just hoping that he didn't try to pull him down any further. I'm just like, what is happening right now? So I tried to pull him up as fast as I could. Obviously, everybody got a laugh at it, and people still laugh at it. But I honestly didn't know what's going on. I never got tackled like that. But
yeah, I was gonna say thousands of carries in high school and college. That was the first time it had happened.
First time it did happen, and it better be the last time.
Yeah. Well, just in case, have you thought about getting a cheek tattooed with a product? Make some, maybe even State Farm make some money off of this. No,
I haven't went that far. With it. Just want to make sure my pants fit so that don't happen.
Okay, the Ravens make the Super Bowl in Santa Clara, right, this year. Bad Bunny personally calls on you during halftime to sing a karaoke duet. Coach Harbaugh says it's okay. Listen, we're winning 43-3. Go out there, have some fun. You get to pick the tune. What are you and Bad Bunny doing?
Do some Kodak Black because I'm from Florida.
Okay. All right.
Probably no flocking or something like that.
No flocking? All right. Listen, you have to be prepared because this could very well happen, right? If Bad Bunny, his throat's a little sore or something, he's the king to join him.
They need me out there, boy. Them views gonna go down. I don't know that the halftime performance gonna be the same.
I just want to be a part of that halftime show, Sal. Come on.
We'll get you in there. Yeah,
There
you
you
got
go.
the Bad Bunny connection. Let's do
You
it.
got the connections. You make it happen. I'm more than happy to sacrifice my, Super Bowl viewing to be a part of Bad Bunny's festivities. Okay. Let's hit a very bizarre game in the NFC South because every game in the NFC South is usually bizarre. It's New Orleans. Tyler Shuck at quarterback, getting 5.5 against the Carolina team that had the win of the year at Green Bay just a week ago. Sal, these games get wacky. Maybe you're smelling a man's best bet. You think the Saints win outright?
I'm taking the Saints outright. And this is basically because the favored Panthers, I'm treating them as if they're the blackjack dealer holding a 6 here. And I'm a believer in Tyler Shuck. Count me in as the president of the Mother Shuckers fan club. And I'll quit after today if he pulls off the upset. But I'm also a believer in bulletproof trends, JJ. Here's one. Panthers haven't won or covered the spread in a game they were favored in since September of 2021. 4+ years ago. They've lost 10 straight up and against the spread as a favorite. We're going to make it 11. Panthers are due for a smack in the face. Defensively, both teams middle of the pack. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something nice to say about the Saints other than coming up with dumb nicknames for the quarterback. So you could hate this pick. I give 0 shucks. 22-17. Who dat? Give me an underdog special.
Underdog special indeed. Let's move to one of the more lopsided divisional rivalries in the NFL over the last decade. Buffalo, a 9.5-point favorite. It actually is down to 8.5 if you look on the FanDuel Sportsbook site. At Miami, Miami trades away Jalen Phillips, but they keep HN, they keep Waddle. And House, I just got to say it now. How does nobody have Buffalo as a part of their card this week? I mean, Miami never beats Buffalo. I know you guys took it as a parlay in the Ringer 107. I thought we were going to see Buffalo spread picks across the board here.
Because we aren't square.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Your team played tough.
By the way, House's mic is off. There we go.
There we go.
Are you back?
I'm back. You can't trust that Buffalo defense. That's why you're not going to lay all those points. These teams, but the Miami covered, and the line was very close to this on the road. I mean, I like the idea of Miami plus all those points. Not enough to bet on it, but I think the correct side is Miami.
JJ, that was your best drive of the year, that Miami, that first half drive against Buffalo on that Thursday night game. So you could be in it. That said, I have Buffalo on $1 million money line parlay. So
well, I think that's advisable. I would agree with that. Yeah. I would put Buffalo in every tease and every parlay imaginable. There is no way in the world Miami is winning that game. And throw in the fact that half the building, if not more, is going to be coming right from the elbow room in Fort Lauderdale, and it's going to feel like Western New York and South Florida. I do have an SGP for this game. Buffalo is going to win. We're going to take them on an alt spread at -3.5. Then I'm going to take Mr. Allen. Anytime touchdown. Then we're going to take 2 Miami Dolphins from a yardage standpoint. Let's take Jalen Waddle, 70-plus receiving yards. Devon Achane, 60-plus rushing yards. That SGP a little over 7-1. Get a little boost on FanDuel. Get it up to 10-1. That's exactly what I decided to do. We are moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we go from the Bills and the Dolphins to Joe House's Washington Seawards and the Detroit Lions. This line, it's fallen. It's fallen, Raheem. It was 8.5. Now it's 7.5. This line's a little out of whack, isn't it?
No, look, my model has this 5. And we know about the Detroit Lions, their struggles this year offensively. They haven't been the same team offensively. I think the problem with this game for me is that Washington's defense is downright abysmal. And, you know, from the practice reports I read Friday, it felt like the Lions will be getting their tackles back. So I didn't want to step in front of this train. Obviously, I did, tease the Lions with the Eagles. I hate teasing road teams, especially road teams of 7 or more. I mean, that goes against Stanford Wine rules, but I don't see any way that the Commanders win this game at all. I think the Commanders are dead on arrival. House has spoken already about taking this team under 6.5 wins and missing the postseason. So, yeah.
House doesn't even have anything to say on his team. He's so disgruntled. He's like, please, let me avoid any Washington conversation this week, right, House?
It's too many points. Mariota has been very good. Look at his PFF grade. He's one of the most capable backup quarterbacks. This Lions offense on grass, the weather's not going to be awesome here in D.C. I just want to say for 2 seconds that I really resent what the Washington franchise did to this man. He shouldn't have been on the football field with 7.5 minutes left in that game. This is my first time with you guys to be able to say it. We were supposed to be past this point of shenanigans franchise-wise. The franchise let this man down. I'm glad that he's only got an elbow injury on his non-throwing arm, and he'll be back ready to go next season. But get it together, Washington.
Disgruntled Joe House. Last year was jubilant Joe House. Now it is disgruntled Joe House. Okay, Sal, play a prop. That's what you're eyeing up for Washington and Detroit.
Yeah, I think the sewage water is coming back to the stadium, House. I hate to say it. It's just a matter of time. Jamison Williams, though, 30-plus yard reception for a long, +185. He's back. He's not a high-volume guy, but he makes his catches count, JJ. He had a long of 37 against the Vikings, a long of 64 against the Bears this year. Seattle had 4 pass catchers, 25 or more yards last week. The week before, the Chiefs had 4 pass catchers, 24 yards or more. This speedster is going to get a look or 2 or 4, +185. Too high for this prop. Give me Jamison on the rocks, 30-plus yard reception, +185.
The final game of the card, the stinkiest of them all. Cleveland laying 2.5 against the Jets, who are in fire sale mode. Sauce Gardner's now a Colt. Quinnen Williams is now a Dallas Cowboy. And speaking of sewage, this is the ultimate game of sewage and the ultimate rat line. There is no way in the world I am laying 2.5 with Dylan Gabriel. And on the flip side, fellas, There's no way in the world I'm taking the Jets. Now, all of a sudden, Justin Fields is going to be able to move the football against that pretty stout Browns defense. Stay away, stay away, stay away. And I'm proud of all of you because none of you wanted to get on board with the Jets and the Browns. Well done, Raheem. I'm proud of you for that.
Yeah, I almost took the Jets on the money line. And the biggest reason why is when you look at this Cleveland defense, they've really struggled on the road. They gave up 32 to the Patriots, 23 to the Steelers, 34 to the Lions, 41 to the Ravens. Now, I know those are some of the best offenses in the league, but clearly that defense doesn't travel. And the biggest thing here is that Dylan Gabriel is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. So who is he to be laying 2.5 points on the road, even if the Jets are in fire sale mode? So I think if you bet this, you owe it to yourself to take the Jets, but this has to be a pass.
Okay. Can we hit a 4 for 4? At some point, it's so close. It's there to be had. We need an anytime touchdown from each of the wise guys. You know, Sal tried to get cute last week. He tried laying like 310. It didn't even matter. We didn't hit it.
That was cute. That was cute.
You were trying to get cute. Let's get back to basics.
All right.
Hit the music. It's time for the family meal. Sal, I'm trying to get you going, big boy. Give me an anytime. Let's go.
All right, I like Jonathan Taylor to hit pay dirt today. I can't do that. I'm not allowed to do that. Damn it. I don't know what to say. I've ruined more family meals than salmonella poisoning, but maybe that should be my nickname, Cousin Salmonella. I'll go Josh Allen, touchdown. What is it, minus 140, whatever. 7 touchdown runs, 4 in the last 2 games, and yet none of it matters because I'm such a family meal mush. That's what's going to happen. But Josh Allen touchdown is my contribution. Apologies in advance.
No, I appreciate that because I have it in my SGP, so let's bring it home and let's actually cash one of these. Raheem, anytime touchdown.
Yeah, I'm bringing some Maryland blue crabs to the table. I know House spent some time in Baltimore getting those Maryland blue crabs, but let's go with Isaiah Likely. Anytime touchdown, that's plus 290. I mean, he's playing a Vikings defense, which has surrendered the 7th highest touchdown rate to tight ends. They've allowed touchdowns to tight ends in 3 of the last 4 games. You guys know I love tight ends. I've been picking tight ends for the last month and a half, and they've been coming through. So hopefully this does too. I think Baltimore's going to score some points today, and I think Isaiah Likely is going to get a touchdown.
Raheem's been hot with these tight ends. House, you're looking for a basic even money anytime touchdown, but a winner's a winner. What do we got?
Kyron Williams, this is a karma pick. This is the guy who cost the Rams the game at home on Thursday night against San Francisco. The Rams want to get their karma in order as they make this push towards a Super Bowl run. Yes, indeed, on both sides of the ball, they got that. Kyron Williams, they get inside the 5-yard line. Let this man get his touchdown against the 49ers and get them on this karma train correctly. Minus 115 is all.
I like it, Joe House. Sal, you roll with Josh Allen. I'm riding with your guy, Jackson Dart. He scored 3 consecutive weeks on the ground. Let's make it 4. Dart, plus 180 against the Chicago Bears. All right, Joe House. I promise we get you out on time. I love you, buddy. Good seeing you. House
Appreciate you, boys.
There you go. There are the anytime touchdowns. There's the family meal. Not Jonathan Allen. Josh Allen at minus 140. Kyron Williams for House at minus 115. Isaiah Likely at plus 290, and then Jackson Dart for me and the New York Giants. What a juicy, juicy family meal. And speaking of juicy, we get to watch or live watch an Indianapolis Colts overtime game with the red-hot Anthony Dabbundo. I'm glad, Dabbundo, that you're still volunteering your time despite your attention maybe being not where it needs to be on the show because you got an overtime game to watch.
It's not in overtime yet, JJ. There's still 25 seconds left.
There's 25 seconds left. Oh, I didn't even realize. I figured kicking a field goal, we would definitely go to overtime.
Why didn't they call timeout after the 3rd down?
Yeah. Atlanta did.
No, I mean, Atlanta got 2 timeouts left. Why didn't they call a timeout?
Right. You're right.
They did. They called their first timeout after the 3rd down completion.
Oh, okay. It looked like it was like 58 seconds before that.
Yeah.
House is like the ghost right now talking.
House,
this
what
is
happened
great.
here?
All right.
We're not out of the woods yet. Atlanta taking a kick.
Anthony, I got a question.
Around the 26.
Yes. I got a question for Anthony.
Yes.
What do you hate more? Me taking the Packers to miss the postseason or House taking the Colts to miss the postseason? Because I know you're opposite both of those.
I mean, I'm not like necessarily, I don't think the Colts are some juggernaut. I mean, offensively, they've been awesome this year. Today, we've seen all kinds of issues, procedural penalties, third downs, they've been awful. And you've seen kind of the limitations of this defense, especially since I know they traded for Sauce Gardner, but I think two of the three most important defensive players are not playing today with Ward and Buckner. So they're going to have to kind of weather this storm. And the defense is not great. It's never been good. That's why I've never had the Colts really as a top 5 team. But the problem is like the division. Like who's winning the division over them? It gets really hard to pick a team. JJ, I'm going to need you to not respond because I'm a full play behind here.
I know, I am too. So there's a big pass
Mooney
play
dropped
for
it. The
Atlanta?
ball got deflected. Mooney dropped the ball. I mean, that's Falcons will always Falcon.
Dabbundo.
If the Berlin game goes to overtime, that just
it's definitely going to overtime.
That's
Drop
unacceptable.
that.
Yeah.
Dabbundo,
I mean, give the people some extra football. It's not like they get to see as much football as us.
I love this because Dabundo's favorite team is playing, and he wants to watch it without interference. And we usually get to him about 12:50 p.m., 10 minutes before the game. Today, right on time, 12:30. You're gonna have to watch with us. Let's do it.
Jack Wilson, producer Jack, texted me. He's like, "We want to get you on to get your Colt reactions." And of course, the game is still happening.
Hell
so.
yeah, let's
Well,
do
it
it.
looked like it was going to end, too, in a tidy manner. I was like, we're going to have these great grand takeaways from Dabbundo. Instead, we get distracted, Dabbundo. Now, with 9 seconds left in this game, as there's a grounding for Michael Penix, you are red hot with the wise wager. It's been Texan under. It's been a season of dominance for you, amigo. How do we keep that train rolling in Week 10? Wise wager right out of the gate. What's the play?
Minnesota Vikings team total under 22.5. I'm betting against J.J. McCarthy. I know that he had a pretty good game, especially on the script last week when they scored on their first 2 drives. But 3 of their 5 scores in that game were drives of less than 40 yards, where they started inside Detroit territory because of turnovers, a kick block, field position as a result of a kickoff. There were all kinds of things that went their way. I still see a pretty alarming profile for McCarthy. The main one, and I think is going to be the biggest issue, 17% sack rate for J.J. McCarthy through 3 weeks. Even last week when they did score, the sacks were still there. So if the Ravens take care of the ball and force Minnesota to be methodical, like you can run on Baltimore, but I don't think they're going to be able to consistently get the ball moving through the air. So I like under team total Minnesota at 22.5.
How crazy is it? We're all convinced the Ravens' defense is fixed now. They were giving up 40+ the whole month of September, October, but now we're taking team total unders. Who could argue with Dabbundo, though?
No, but it's going against J.J. McCarthy. I think that's the rationale here. And, AD, if you like the team total as an under, does that mean you would also endorse laying it with Baltimore?
If I had to, I would, yes. I kind of like the game under more. Another thing that's kind of flown under the radar, everybody's saying, oh, the Ravens offense is back. And they had a pretty good second half against Miami, I thought. But Lamar Jackson has also taken a ton of sacks this year. He's at 12% sack rate, which would be a career high for him. It's been, teams like the Lions that have had success. We've seen Flores in the past, back in his Miami days when he was the DC head coach there, having success shutting down Lamar with blitzing, gap pressure. So, he doesn't have a ton of defensive talent in the backfield. The Minnesota secondary, I think, is still gettable, but we've seen Flores put teams in blenders before. So I don't love either offense in the matchup in this game.
That's a good point, Raheem. And I thought about that going into this game. Brian Flores matched up with Lamar Jackson when he was head coach of the Miami Dolphins. It was a weird Thursday night game. It kind of started the 2021 downfall for the Baltimore Ravens. And Flores had this great game plan, the zero blitz. And Lamar Jackson was all sorts of confused. That said, now with some more evidence, game film, kind of knowing what you're going to get yourself into, I would expect a better prepared number one Lamar Jackson. Also, didn't have Derrick Henry in that game, so you got to take that into account. That's why I'm with you. I love Baltimore in this spot.
Wasn't Flores the coach of the Dolphins that time when the Ravens won Week 1? It was like 52-7 or something like that.
Yes, he was. That was the first game he ever coached.
Yeah.
Again, one game doesn't mean a ton to me, but I just think the sacks are a problem.
Yeah, you could take both of those games and throw them out the window at this point.
I thought someone mentioned my good, really best friend.
Speaking of the wise wagers, let's take a look. We haven't shown that graphic yet, Dabbundo. Let's see the wise wagers for this week so you can grade these before we get to your next play. Here we go. Sal's going with a team total over. Feeling frisky on Sunday night with the Chargers. 23.5. House
Me and
likes
Sal
the
versus the
Eagles. I know you do not like the Eagles, Dabbundo, because you'll probably be on Green Bay, as am I. We got to switch those. I'm on the Bucs. Raheem is on the Ravens. Any takeaways from those wise wagers?
I mean, Joe House and I are, I guess, head-to-head here.
There we are.
Because I'm on Green Bay with Sal. It seems like there's a lot more disagreement in the Ringer 107 this week, just looking at the graphic, seeing a lot of Pittsburgh, some Chargers. Me and Sal there, we disagree with 4 of the fantasy guys' 5 picks. So that was kind of funny on the Friday show. And then, the Eagles-Packers is one of them, where a lot of people are buying Philly, and I can't blame them. I mean, the Eagles were 4-0 as a dog last year. They covered every game by an average of 11 points. So who are we to say?
Let's take a look at these. So Dabundo's team and our team, Raheem, we have Tampa together. We have Washington together. We are heads up on the Pittsburgh Charger game.
Dabbundo, what's
the
the case for
fantasy guys laying a lot of. They're going with Baltimore. They're going with Carolina. They're going with Detroit. Yeah, I think I disagree with 4 of the 5 picks from the fantasy guys. I agree.
Dabbundo, what's the case for the Chargers?
Sal made the case for the Chargers. I thought eloquently.
Okay. Well, the case is
Eloquently.
we consistently take shitty quarterbacks every week, and I wanted to have a chance in the fourth quarter. That was the only case. That was it.
No, I think that while I agree that it's a huge downgrade, I kind of think it's overly priced in at this point. I mean, the Chargers offense, even with the injuries, I still think has a much higher ceiling than this Pittsburgh offense. I know we've spent so much time talking about the Steelers' defense this year because it's been so uncharacteristically bad until last week. But the Pittsburgh offense hasn't been great either. Like it's a slug. It's a slog for them to try to get down the field in these games, and they have really struggled to keep the chains moving. They've relied a lot last week, even on turnovers. I mean, they had less than 200 yards against the Colts, who are getting run up and down the field on today. So I really think that the Pittsburgh offense is pretty overrated too. So I don't disagree with your under, but we went with the Chargers because at 2.5 we thought it was a little short.
Okay, fair enough. I think it's going to be a big party for the Steel Curtain, and I think you're going to have 80% of the building, and that's a huge problem. And I'm worried about that Charger offensive line. Now, I need an OMG bet from you. Is it one of those picks that was on the Ringer 107 board?
It is. OMG, I'm betting the Washington Commanders. This is finally the time when I'm getting in. I actually pulled this up because I was curious. As you guys know, I think it was a common pick amongst our crew. We all like the Commanders under coming into the season. I kind of took that to the extreme. I bet against the Commanders in week 1, in week 2, in week 4, in week 5, in week 6, in week 7, and in week 9. So I've been against the Commanders almost every game this season, and it's been one more than it's lost. But this is the time now where everybody is selling Washington, and I'm going to try to buy at the basement floor. And I know it's ugly, it's terrible. Their defense, as Raheem said, is banged up. It's abysmal. But this Detroit offense is not executing right now at a level where I could justify them laying more than a touchdown. So OMG, for the first time all season, I am betting the Washington Commanders. Sal is mad at me because we used the Commanders in 107. I don't think he wanted to. But I like Washington catching over a touchdown.
I just, whatever. We'll go with it. I get Dabundo's explanation and everything. Again, not a great quarterback in the fourth quarter. But if Dan Campbell doesn't get up for this after that playoff, what a disaster
that's right.
This
It's a playoff rematch from the divisional round. Great
Plus,
call.
coming off a loss. I don't care what the line moves to. They have to win this game, Detroit.
Yeah, but win and cover the number is an entirely different conversation.
But now it's going down. Now it's going down, which I don't understand. But it's fine.
So, Raheem, we're getting wise guys coming in on the Commanders. That's what that number is telling me?
Yes, without a doubt.
And listen, I'd be skeptical on Detroit at this point, AD. See, that's my issue. Like, I think a lot of people are looking at them as the juggernaut and the wagon they were offensively a year ago. Defensively, they have some problems and some issues. I'm with you on this OMG bet. I think Washington is live in the game, and I know Washington stinks, and they're not going to win a whole lot of games over the final 8 weeks of the season. I'm not laying. I would never in a million years lay 8.5 in this spot. No shot.
Is the weather crappy? Because that was the knock on Washington.
It's going to rain.
On Detroit, because they didn't go on the road a lot in bad weather last year. And this year, it's quite different. So this could start that.
Dabbundo, you do not. Did you win the coin toss and defer? I think you did.
We did, yeah. I think it's the right move.
Oh, well, I think it's the right move too.
You always defer, but
for someone that has Atlanta plus 6.5, I am very happy about the fact that you defer.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
Significant. Significant. So thank you.
Until Sauce Gardner gets a pick six here.
No, but it doesn't matter. They wouldn't kick the extra point.
They wouldn't kick the extra point. You're right.
They walk it off and celebrate.
Hey, good job by you, JJ. Want to know?
Nice win, JJ.
We'll take it.
It's a good start.
Well, am I ahead
so we got
now?
2 bets down. We got 1 to go, Dabbundo. We got an OMG. We got a wise wager. We need a man's best bet.
Yeah, this should be my OMG, my what are you doing? Are you sure? Like FanDuel texts you, are you okay? I just bet the Saints money line before we came on.
There we go.
Ooh, I kind of like it.
Are you on this podcast thing? JJ, you aware of this podcast story that we've been talking about over the weeks?
No,
The
no,
Meow Mix
please.
podcast?
No, explain. I did not know this story.
Sal and I have been on this. So the Meow Mix podcast was a popular Panthers podcast. I actually don't know how popular
Didn't
it
they
was.
threaten to quit
No, they didn't
basically
threaten to
after winning
quit. They
losses?
did quit. They quit.
Oh, they did
just
quit.
stopped.
After the New England loss, they got embarrassed. They said, we're done. This organization is too sad, too sorry, too bad. We're not tuning in anymore. And that is what we like to call, friends, a buy signal. You could not have stock lower than if the literal podcasters quit. Like if we quit and said, you know what, we're not doing the show anymore, I would tail every bet we had the
We'd
next
win
week.
every bet. I
We'd
agree
win
with
every
that.
bet.
Right.
Every bet.
It's the ultimate buy low. And since they quit,
Let's try it. Let's try that, by the way. Yeah. Let's see what happens.
the Panthers have won 4 out of 5. So now this week, the podcasters tried to come back.
No way.
And multiple former players spoke out and said,
No, you're out.
No.
No. They're out.
They're
out.
out. But they tried to be back in.
Oh,
And-
no. This makes me like the Saints even more in
And
this
now we're
situation.
selling the Panthers again. Exactly. How is that defensive pass interference? That
Very
is a joke
little.
of a call. Anyway, that's ridiculous.
The bundle's like 6 plays behind.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
all
way
right.
behind. I'm
Dabbundo,
streaming
you are
on my
really
laptop.
behind. We got to work on your internet and your cable. My goodness. You're not paying your bills?
I'm going to pay my bills with Saints money line.
The bundle, did you see the Jonathan Taylor touchdown yet? The 80-yard? You saw that, right? Okay.
What's overtime? Never heard of it. Anyway, I'm still in the third quarter. But anyway, my point is the difference between going on the road to play the Rams in your first start, who have an elite pressure rate, who had the ball for 45 minutes, who dominated on offense, versus playing this Carolina team where Ted McMillan pops up on the injury report. He's going to play, but is he 100%? And all of a sudden, you're playing Carolina, who's dead last in pressure rate. New Orleans actually did move the ball through the air last week. They just couldn't convert in the red zone. They couldn't run the ball. It's a much easier defensive matchup. Carolina's laying 5.5. No way, man. I'll take the dog. Saints plus 210.
So I like it. I have to admit, though, Dabbundo, I thought there was going to be a game that had your name written all over it. And it's stinky. I thought you were going to come on and tell me the Jets were the play at plus 2.5 today. I was waiting for that.
I'm not doing it. Pass.
See, even you aren't brave enough to do that.
I bet the under. By the way, I just want to say, I haven't discussed it yet, but the wager has been placed. Texans, Jags, under 37.5.
I mean, how could it not be?
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Speaking of a bet I need to add, I'm glad that you mentioned that. I like that. And I also need to bet some more on Houston. I love the fact that they are now favored in the game.
They flipped?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
We sacked
So
him? We sacked him. Come on.
See, isn't this great, Sal, knowing what's going to happen and
it's so
knowing
good.
how behind Dabbundo is?
He didn't see the Daniel Jones pick 6. Nobody tell him. Nobody tell him.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Dabbundo, I'm not going to be that cruel. I'll let Sal be that cruel. I'm not going to be that.
No, you're
guy.
fine.
I'm going to
I
try
don't
to
believe
be on good
anything you
I
behavior.
will
say.
definitely be that cruel.
Raheem's got it.
Listen, Raheem's
on the
is dying to
FanDuel
do
app.
some play-by-play as we speak. You want to do your best Joe Buck impression?
Jones
or Gus
drops
Johnson?
back to pass. Intercepted.
I'm more like a Gus Johnson type guy. I mean, I watched that Indiana game yesterday, and he was going crazy.
Oh, that was so awesome.
Speaking of which, I'm glad that you brought that up, Raheem. Sal, I know you and Tate do a lot of college football on your Tuesday pod. You know, there was a lot of chatter about people making that drive out to be like the Mendoza Heisman Trophy winning drive. I watched that entire game. I was not thoroughly impressed by Mendoza. If anything, on that last possession, the catch to me was far more impressive than anything that he did. I mean, that was one of the most ridiculous catches I've seen in college football, to not only hold on to the football, to get the feet down. I kind of like your guy. The quarterback that impressed me yesterday, in the rain, your guy at Oregon more. I mean, dropping in that dime, that was an unbelievable throw.
Didn't put enough maybe numbers up there. I mean, it's going to be Mendoza, it's going to be Julian Sayin for Heisman, and probably will play out if everyone still has their votes left in the Big Ten championship. But you're right, hovering the right toe in the end zone was a bigger winner right there over Mendoza. The good thing about him is he kept his cool after throwing that interception, and then that was a good drive down the field. So otherwise, great Gus Johnson game though. Raheem's right, that was fantastic.
We are moving, Dabbundo. Dabbundo, this is one of these games for your team, let's be honest. If you can get out of here with a win, and it's a get out and dodge special, you got to be super stoked.
Yes, defense has not played well. Offense has been bad situationally. Badgley has cost us 4 points with the kicking. The kicking is a problem. I mean, to come up short.
Well, I was going to say, this is going to come down to a field goal. He's going to have to make a kick, more than likely.
There's no way he's missing this.
I mean, come on, Raheem. You can't say that. He's already missed today.
Raheem, it's football.
It's our backup kicker.
These kickers stink.
This game is over. This is Atlanta sports right here.
Dabbundo.
No,
he
I mean,
did it,
honestly,
not me. Don't blame me.
this is Atlanta sports right now.
He has
no
Atlanta
way.
money line or something. He didn't tell us. He has a bet or something.
No, I'm just saying Atlanta, like, really, they don't, like, they just don't win these games. When they choke it away, it's gone.
Yeah, that's a good point. They had the 3rd and 17. I thought we were dead. And then Jones,
it was 3rd and 21.
21. Yeah, Jones was bleeding out.
Daniel Jones runs for 18 yards.
Yeah.
Like, it was over at that point.
I'll tell you, I think it's rather significant that I got, not that the line deviated off of 6.5, but right now, if this line was 5.5 or 6,
Yeah, you wouldn't be happy.
my stress level would be entirely different on this final.
It was 5.5 early in the week too. Like there was.
Oh, there were 5.5 in the market.
Monday morning. Yep. So I almost bet it. And then I said, pass.
You're good here, Dabbundo. Damn it.
That said, I do think they're going to roll Badgley out to go and make the kick. Couple more here, Dabbundo. Should I be worried about this Tampa Bay spot laying 2.5? Because I love this game so much, and it actually scares me how much I love this game.
Old friend Stuckey refers to them as the Tampa Bay Lux. Like the underlying metrics of this team don't really make sense. It's just Baker has Houdini'd a bunch of fourth quarter drives. So I kind of feel like, and we took Tampa in the 107. I feel like this game has the potential to be a tied game with 3 minutes to go, probably more than any other game on the board, except maybe Houston, since it'll be 3-3. So I feel like that game, it'll come down to who has the big moment late. Who do you trust more? I think that you mentioned this earlier. The big matchup question is just that Bowles has had so much success against these younger quarterbacks, these more inexperienced guys, bringing a ton of pressure. And New England, for as good as May has been throwing the ball down the field, like Booty's a real loss for their offense. It's a real loss.
So let's get a break from the Drake May Hall of Fame talk for one week. Just one week.
Something happened in this game that I don't want to spoil. You watching this right now, Dabbundo?
I'm still behind. I'm still behind.
You're killing me, man. I want to make this announcement for the show. I want to. I was thinking I was going to be behind.
Did we win?
But did Bates drop the ball before the pylon? Or did he get
it's
in?
a pick six.
Did he get in? Did Jesse Bates?
You guys are.
Come on, Dabbundo, let's go.
I told you I'm a full play behind. NFL Plus stream
You're
on my
more
laptop.
than a play behind.
Raheem knew this 4 minutes ago. Raheem's on the FanDuel app, which is the FanDuel
You're more
app's
than a play behind, Dabbundo.
FanDuel app's 2 plays ahead somehow.
The Indianapolis Colts are 8-2.
There you go. About time, bro. About time.
Field goals are for suckers.
Imagine,
Let's go.
Imagine,
What a
JJ,
win.
Raheem, imagine just needing 2 more wins. It's still November 9th.
To
All
get
you
to
need
10
is
wins.
All you
I
need
know.
is 2 more
by
wins
the
to make
way,
the playoffs.
We
Damn
are
it.
the first team to clinch our win total.
This
think.
is the worst.
I'll tell you, I was on the
Colts
Colts
over
win total
7.5
as an
wins
under.
cashes.
If you're going to lose a win total, boys, that's
the
how
way to
you
do
lose
it.
a win total.
Yeah.
Don't lose it in week 17 or week 18 where it's excruciating and
No
it's
one's
nail-biting.
playing.
If you're going to
Yeah.
be wrong when that baby is dead by
Or
November.
don't lose it. It's so funny. If the Ravens lose today, they also clinched their win total.
Under, yeah.
So what were the Ravens, 11.5?
No, they were 11.5.
Yeah.
And they would have 6
11.5.
losses. So the most they could do is 11-6.
And Kansas City's probably going to go under their win total this year, too. I mean, they have to, right? They're 5-4
KC can only
right
lose
now.
one more. Yep.
Yeah.
But they're going to lose one more. I mean, they got a tough schedule coming up. Although that game in Thanksgiving against the Cowboys, they're going to put up 45 against your team.
What? No, we're going to forfeit that Jerry's had enough, I think. It's good.
Were you okay, Sal? Were you okay making that trade with the Jets, giving up a first and a second for Williams?
I think he's got short-term memory loss. Like I think it was maybe I would say it was fine if they had won Monday night. They don't win Monday night, it's a waste of everything. It really is. They're going to go 2-4 the next 6, and I don't know what the hell he's doing, squandering these draft picks. It's all about making the Micah Parsons trade not look awful for like another week. That's it. I don't think it worked.
See, and that to me is the difference between your team and Dabundo's team. Like, I watched every snap, AD, that Sauce Gardner has played as a corner. I think he is a good corner. I do not think he is a great corner. I never in a million years would have given. No, the guy doesn't make game-changing plays. I see Surtain do that in Denver. I see Stingley do that with the Texans. I did not see Sauce Gardner do that with the Jets. That being said, though, AD, where your team is at, where you're like, hey, we're rolling, we got a chance at this thing, like, I get you guys kind of saying, F it, let's make a move to that extreme. Or were you, like, really pissed off when that trade came out?
I was shocked. I mean, we don't make moves like this. I mean, the Colts have been such a passive, such a conservative organization when it comes to making trades, spending in free agency. It's been almost to a fault, and I would argue not almost to a fault, literally to a fault. Like Chris Ballard has been so patient as general manager, and they've been stuck in this kind of doldrums of mediocrity. Like they've never been bad. They've only had one bad year, really, since Luck retired. They've had some decent years, but they've been right around 500. Like entering this season, they were 500 since Andrew Luck retired. But this was a big push. The GM's job is on the line. The coach entered the season with his job on the line. New owner. All of those things contribute to this decision. Ultimately, I think there's a very fair case to be made against it. We saw some flaws from Daniel Jones today. Like, you don't know that the quarterback position is settled. It's a dangerous game to play. However, I do think Sauce Gardner is a top 5 corner in the NFL. And you're going to go to the AFC playoffs, and you're going to play Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. So you better have corners. You better have a secondary. And this makes their healthy secondary, I think, the best corner room in the league. With Kenny Moore, with Charvarius Ward hopefully coming back from his concussions, and with Sauce. I'm excited.
Who cares? Let's just get out of here. Who cares about your
Wow, Sal not in the mood for Dabbundo waxing poetic on his calls.
I know I have a shortcut now. I could customize my 4-box, but I still need 3 minutes to do it.
Shoot,
boys,
I drive home, so I feel you.
Listen, that's going to do it for a very outstanding Ringer Sunday pregame for Anthony Dabbundo, Raheem Palmer, Cousin Sal, and John Jastremski. Same time, same place next week. Enjoy the games. Sal, maybe win Guess the Lines this week. Maybe.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to study harder this afternoon.
How about you win that more and you win your wise wager less? We'd actually prefer that.
I'll take that. By the way, I'll take that trade-off any day. Let's do it.
Fair enough. Great job by Jack and the crew. Boys are out. Be good, everybody.